Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course on Pakistan Studies. We are going to have lecture number 26 today. The topic is Industrial Development in Pakistan. We will discuss this topic under 4 headings. Number 1, importance of industrial development or industrialization. Second, historical overview. Third, major industries in Pakistan. 4, the future directions. We'll first take up the first part, that is, importance of industrialization in Pakistan. Industry is the backbone of the economy and holds key to economic development and overall prosperity. You cannot think of stable and strong economy without industry. Similarly, when we talk of modernization of the economy, modernization of the state, industry plays a vital role in determining the kind of modernization of the economy that has taken place in a country. Industrialization or industrial development also helps to build the international image of a country, because if a country has industry and technology, its role and its position in the economic domain increases, and it plays more significant role in the economy at the international level. Industrialization also facilitates trade, because if you produce goods, products, then you can send those products abroad and earn foreign exchange. Industry also helps to reduce dependence on others. If you don't have industry, then you have to rely on others for even getting small items or small things which you need for day-to-day life and also for building economy. So if you are industrially developed, then it is not you who are dependent, but others may be looking towards you for trade and also for getting finished and developed products. Even for countries that are primarily agricultural, like Pakistan. Pakistan is primarily an agricultural country. Even in this area, industrial development helps, because for good agriculture, you need input, and for bringing input to agriculture, industry plays an important role. I give you one example. We use fertilizer in agriculture, and if you don't have fertilizer industry in your country, then you have to import fertilizer, get it from outside. You have to spend a lot of foreign exchange. But if you have your own fertilizer industry, then you can rely on that for that purpose. Even for agricultural output, industry plays an important role. How to harvest, you can use modern techniques for harvesting, and then you can also, with the help of industry, turn raw material into finished products, and finished product earn more foreign exchange at the international level than raw material. Industry or industrialization is also important for providing lot of opportunities to the citizens for employment. You set up industry, that means you create jobs, you create employment, you provide opportunity to the people to earn their living by joining industry. Therefore, it helps to economic development of a country, the overall prosperity of the people, and in this way, industry becomes integral part of your economy. Industrialization also facilitate reduction of poverty. As you have employment, as you have job opportunities, poverty reduces, and industry also helps to improve the quality of life. You can produce products and goods which are needed for bringing comfort to the lives of ordinary people, for the betterment of the quality of life. Industry is also important for building defense and security potential of a country. No country can have sufficient or powerful defense and security arrangements unless it is backed up with industry. There is two kinds of industry here. First, the general industry. Then you also have defense-related industry. Industry that directly produces goods and products which are needed for defense, weapons and military equipment. And if you are really developed, you could produce aircraft, you could produce ships and other items that are needed for defense. Therefore, when we examine the defense potential of a country, we also look at the economy of that country. And when we are looking at the economy of a country, then we go into the area of industrial development. What is the level of industrial development? What kind of industry a country has, and how far a country is self-sufficient in defense production and defense industry. Now we move on to the second part of this lecture, which is historical overview of industrial development in Pakistan. In this section, we'll talk about the development of industrial sector in Pakistan, how we started in 1947 and moved on, and then what are the important institutions that helped Pakistan's industry. In 1947, we started with a very limited and very small industrial base. The areas that became Pakistan were relatively less developed than the areas that became India. Most of the industry that the British had set up was situated in the areas that were given to India. So far as Pakistan is concerned, almost 4% of total industrial units or industry came to Pakistani side. Mostly, Pakistan had small size units with very simple system, or which could meet simple or straight needs. Few examples can be given here. For example, Pakistan had some sugar mills, biscuit factories, cigarette manufacturing factories, oil mills, cement units, match factory, steel rolling, and glass work. These were the kind of industries that Pakistan had in 1947, and then government gave a serious thought to this issue, that is how to build Pakistan's industrial base. And in the early years, certain priorities were set out. That is, Pakistan would work towards achieving those priorities. There were 5 major priorities given by the government of Pakistan in the early years of independence. The first priority was that industry should be based on indigenous raw material. And since Pakistan was an agricultural state and continues to be an agricultural state, this means that industry should be set up that can make use of this raw material which comes from agriculture. The second objective was that they should try to produce consumer goods to meet the needs of the people, so that they don't have to import consumer goods from outside. The third major priority of the early years was that private initiative or private sector should be encouraged. They should be encouraged to take interest in installing industry. I may point out here that at the time of independence in 1947, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah encouraged number of Muslim business people and industrialists to migrate from India to Pakistan to set up industry and set up commercial concerns here. The fourth objective outlined in the early years was that state should also be involved in this process, the process of industrial development. It should provide facilities, and it should also provide financial support, financial assistance to the people who are now busy in setting up industry. And state should provide some incentives like, tax incentives, protective tariffs, and other facilities, so that people are encouraged to invest in industry. And then state should itself move in to set up industry. So this was the fourth basic objective outlined by the government of Pakistan in the early years. The fifth objective was that emphasis should also be on training and research. For industry, training and research are extremely important. Unless you have trained human power, your output will be adversely affected. Similarly, you have to spend resources in research on evolving new methods, new techniques, and also research for producing new products, bringing new items. So the emphasis was that research should be encouraged, and there should be institutions that would train people for different sectors of industry, so that development and industry progresses rapidly. Now, certain institutional arrangements were also made. For example, industrialization was made an integral part of the economic development process that was started in Pakistan. For example, in 1948, Industrial or Development Board was set up. A development board was set up primarily to create or to make development plans. And then in 1951, 6-year development plan was launched. from 1955, 5-year plan series was initiated. First 5-year plan from 55 to 1960, second 5-year plan from 1960 to 65, and in this way number of plans were introduced. In all these 5-year plans, the emphasis was on industrialization. In fact, Pakistan made significant strides in the field of industry in the second and third 5-year plans. During the 60s, new industry was set up in Pakistan, and the old industry was expanded and modernized, and in this way in the 60s and then subsequently in the 70s and the 80s this process went on. Now, so far as institutions was concerned, the first major institution that helped Pakistan's industrial development was PIDC, Pakistan Industrial Development Corporation, which was set up under a law passed in 1950. And this institution, PIDC, Pakistan Industrial Development Corporation, was established to encourage the setting up of industry that was less attractive to the private sector. There were areas where private sector was shy, or private sector was not really inclined to invest money because return was not so quick, or perhaps a lot of investment was needed. So the government identified certain areas where government was to take initiative so that that gap which is left because private sector is not so much interested is filled, and therefore PIDC played an important role in that field in the 50s and the 60s. The other important institution is IDBP. IDBP means Industrial Development Bank of Pakistan, which was set up in 1961, and this bank, Industrial Development Bank of Pakistan, still functions in Pakistan, and the objective of this bank was to provide loans or financial support to projects at concessional rates, generally to middle and small size investors. Because for industry, availability of resources, funds is extremely important, and if loans are available at concessional rates, then you encourage industry. And here the concessional rates were made available to middle level or to small investors. Another important institution that was set up was PICIC, P-I-C-I-C, PICIC. PICIC means Pakistan Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation. This was another institution for providing loans and credit facilities, including foreign exchange facilities. PICIC launched several investment schemes basically designed to encourage industrialization and also to secure funds and resources for investment in the industrial field. In addition to this, Government of Pakistan also established Investment Promotion Bureau. Investment Promotion Bureau was set up to facilitate the task of investment. When you invest and set up industry, you have to go through lot of procedures to fulfill government requirements. That is in addition to procurement of resources and funds. So you have to go through a lot of bureaucratic procedures, lot of permissions have to be secured, license have to be obtained. There are a lot of procedures you need to follow. And Investment Promotion Bureau was basically designed to help the investors to do all these things so that they are not discouraged and their job or their task is facilitated. In addition to these institutional arrangements, there were other institutional arrangements like ICP, Investment Corporation of Pakistan, then NDFC, National Development Finance Corporation. Now this corporation, NDFC, has been closed down by the Government of Pakistan. NIT, National Investment Trust. NDFC or National Investment Trust was collecting savings, funds, resources that were to be made available for investment and related purposes. In addition to these institutional arrangements, first to attract investment and secondly to facilitate industrialization, Government of Pakistan has always been interested in obtaining financial assistance and investment from abroad, from outside of Pakistan. In fact, nowadays, this has become an important channel for industrialization, that you encourage outsiders, not only the foreign government or semi-government institutions, but mainly the private sector, that these people should come into the country and invest. Foreign investment, firstly, was obtained through World Bank, through IMF, Colombo Plan, that's kind of multilateral institutions. Then through the private sector, that is also one way to obtain foreign assistance, that is you encourage individuals or groups which are not state group to come in for investment. This was the strategy which Pakistan was pursuing, and the objective was to encourage private sector or encourage private initiative. However, state was also playing an important role in industrialization. You could say that the pattern that Pakistan was following was that of mixed economy, but there was a lot of encouragement to the private sector in the 60s. In the early 70s, to be more precise, in 1972, Pakistan embarked on a different strategy, that is nationalization of key industry. In 1972, the Government of Pakistan nationalized 10 basic industries. That is, the state took over 10 basic and key industry from private sector and brought it into the public sector, that is under state control. So the private owners lost the control and state took over. Subsequently, some more industry was taken over. In this way, in the 70s, the role of the state in the national economy and industrialization was enhanced. There was much euphoria, and this was very much highlighted, that state has taken over to promote social justice. However, with the passage of time, it became clear that nationalization was not able to achieve the objectives set out when this step was taken. Basically, the state took over the industry, the bureaucratic control was enhanced, and the result was that the industrial output declined. Then, subsequently, the strategy changed. From the late 80s and especially in the 90s, the emphasis was on denationalization. In the 90s, Pakistan went for denationalization, privatization of the economy, and the emphasis was on free economy. That is, you reduce the state's role in industry and economy, and some sectors of industry, some sectors of economy were privatized in Pakistan in the 90s. The underlying idea was that you should encourage free competition, you encourage private groups, private individuals to come into the domain and improve industry and improve economy. In this context, the focus was also on obtaining investment from abroad, or what is called FDI, foreign direct investment, that you encourage individual, you encourage groups to invest in your country, to invest in Pakistan, and they could purchase or buy industry that was being denationalized, or they could set up new industry. And government of Pakistan also encouraged the Pakistanis settled outside to invest in Pakistan. Pakistanis who have spent their lives outside in different professions, in different jobs, who have made enough money, they were also encouraged to invest in Pakistan, to start industry, to go into the new areas, and to make use of the opportunity that government of Pakistan was providing to the foreign investors. In this way, by the turn of the century and beginning of the 21st century, Pakistan had moved away from the era of nationalization or era of greater state control of the economy. Pakistan moved now into an area where the emphasis was mixed economy, but with lot of encouragement to privatization, free economy, to be part of the overall change that had taken place at the international level, with emphasis on free economy, free trade, and Pakistan is now part of this new wave where we emphasize private sector. However, the state has not totally surrendered its role in this area. In Pakistan, state still has industry under its disposal. Now we move on to the third part of this lecture, and in this third part we will identify some of the major industry. That is, what are the major industrial areas where Pakistan has made strides and done some useful work. So we will discuss some of the major industry of Pakistan. The first major industrial sector is textiles. Textile industry is the major industry in Pakistan, and it is based on agriculture. And here Pakistan has got huge textile industry which caters to domestic as well as international market. Lot of textile products and manufactured items are sent abroad. The major textile centers in Pakistan are in Faisalabad, Multan, Lahore, and Karachi. In the woolen cloth area, we can identify Karachi, Lawrencepur, Harnai, Qaidabad, Multan, and Bannu. It is in these places that you have woolen cloth industrial units. The second major industry is sugar. In this area, in sugar, Pakistan has made tremendous progress. Sugar mills have proliferated in Pakistan over the years, and these sugar mills are located in Sindh province, in Punjab, and also in northwest frontier. Sugar is also agriculture based, and sugar industry is located where sugarcane can be easily supplied, and it is located, as I have said, in Sindh, in Punjab, and NWFP or frontier province. The third major industry is cement industry. Again, there has been major expansion of cement industry in Pakistan, and we have over 20 cement factories in different parts of Pakistan in the public sector, which is state sector, and the private sector. And some of the cement which is produced here now meets the needs of Pakistan, and some is exported, is sent abroad. For example, for reconstruction of Afghanistan, cement is being sent from Pakistan to that country. Major cement installations are in Dandot, Daud Khel, Wah, Rodi, and Karachi. Fourth major industry of Pakistan is vegetable ghee or cooking oil. Cooking oil or vegetable ghee is an essential kitchen item. And in this area, Pakistan has seen much expansion. The reason being that there is a demand, and it's a constantly expanding demand. As population grows, you would need more and more of cooking oil. And cooking oil or vegetable ghee industry is to be found in the private sector and also in the public sector. Pakistan is more or less self-sufficient in cooking oil, but Pakistan has to import raw material for making cooking oil. Over 60 units are located in Punjab, Sindh, and Northwest Frontier Province. The next important industry is iron and steel. Pakistan's steel mill near Karachi was set up with the financial and technological support of the former Soviet Union. However, the problem is that Pakistan doesn't have sufficient raw material to cater for the needs of the steel mill. It has to import from outside. Iron ore that is found in Pakistan is of low quality, and it has also the problem of quantity. In addition to the steel mill, Pakistan has at different places some factories dealing with steel rolling and other related works. The next important industry is paper industry. Initially, major paper mills were established in East Pakistan. In 1971, East Pakistan got separated from Pakistan, became independent state of Bangladesh, which means Pakistan lost major paper industry. And in the initial stages, there was a serious shortage of domestic paper. However, during the last over 30 years, that is from 1972 to the present, Pakistan has set up paper industry which caters for good part of Pakistan's paper needs. Some high quality paper and related products have to be imported, but for other daily use, Pakistan has now sufficient industrial units to produce paper and paper products. Major paper industry is located in Nowshera, Charsadda, Gujranwala, Lahore, and Gharo. The next important industry is machine tool industry. And here we can talk about heavy mechanical complex at Textiles and machine tool industry at Landi in Karachi. Heavy mechanical complex at Textiles was set up with the cooperation of China, that is the People's Republic of China, and it has turned out to be a major industry for producing machine equipment, tool, and lot of other useful products which are used for other industry. For example, heavy mechanical complex Textiles is producing machinery for sugar industry, for cement industry, and related areas. Some of the machinery produced by Textiles unit has been sent abroad. For example, machinery for setting up sugar industry, for cement, this has been exported to outside. Similarly, at Landi, machine tool factory produces goods and products which are used for civilian purposes, for industry, and also for security or defense-related industry. This takes me to defense-related industry in Pakistan. Defense-related industry has expanded over the years. At the time of independence, Pakistan did not inherit any defense or ordnance factory, and the War Ordnance Factory was set up in 1951. And since then, Ordnance Factory complex has developed in War or around that area, and Pakistan Ordnance Complex produces small weapons, armament, and equipment which is used by the armed forces of Pakistan, and some of this is sent abroad, and in this way Pakistan earns some foreign exchange. Heavy mechanical complex at Textiles also has got a tank rebuild factory. In Kamara, you have aircraft industry where aircraft is built and also overhauled. For example, F-16 and Mirage aircraft are overhauled and rebuilt. Pakistan has also gone into aircraft manufacturing. Pakistan is now producing Mishak trainer aircraft. And recently, Pakistan has sold some Mishak aircraft to Arab country. Pakistan is also working on another aircraft, K-8 or Karakoram 8, in collaboration with China. Other important industry include fertilizer industry, tobacco and cigarettes, oil refinery, car and tractor production, shipbuilding in Karachi, where Pakistan has got a big shipyard where ships are made. Then shipbreaking industries also exist in Karachi and around Karachi, and these are important industry. Now we will talk briefly about cottage industry. Cottage industry basically deals with small size industrial units where members of family, especially in the case of extended families, they join together to produce some items which have market value and which are also used for different purposes. Cottage industry involves small number of people, limited instruments, and produce important things like carpet industry. Part of carpet manufacturing is cottage industry, sports goods, toys, and similarly lot of other items like power loom or hand loom industry falls into this category, and this is also quite popular, and Government of Pakistan provides support and financial assistance for that purposes. Now we move to the last section, that is future directions of industry or industrialization in Pakistan. There is no escape to industrialization. Pakistan has to devote more and more attention to this area. If we look at it in the historical context, starting from the beginning to the present, Pakistan has made a lot of progress, but still much work needs to be done so that Pakistan gradually becomes more and more industrialized country. Pakistan is continuing with mixed economy pattern with emphasis and primacy to private initiative, and Pakistan is going for privatization. Pakistan is looking for international or foreign investment. But for industrialization or industrial development, you need to create appropriate conditions. First, political and economic stability is important for industrialization, especially if you want private sector and also international investment. Then infrastructure, that is facilities which are important for industry, roads, communication network, and then the procedures, bureaucratic procedures need to be simplified. Availability of loans at reasonable rate of interest is extremely important. It is also important for industrialization that you give a fair deal to the labor, to the people who are involved in different tasks, the labor and others. They should be given a fair deal so far as wages and other facilities are concerned. We have discussed the industrial development in Pakistan, how Pakistan has progressed over time, and have emphasized that Pakistan will have to devote more attention and more resources to this field, that is industry and industrialization. This brings an end to our discussion of industrial development in Pakistan. Khuda Hafiz, until the next lecture.